structures in America. The significance of Christ Church is not because of any great historical event. No battle was won or lost on church grounds. No document critical to the birth of the nation was signed here. No one famous is known to have worshipped in these pews. What continues to make the church significant is the strength of its architectural character. Finished in 1735, far away from any city, in a colony not yet a country, Christ Church embodied the best of architecture as practiced in England at the time. This rural church has the characteristics of Georgian architecture: symmetry, design flourishes in the roof, intricate brickwork around its doors and windows, and an emphasis on both scale and light. With the exception of minor details, the church remains today as it came from the hands of its builders. While the genius of the design is evident, the identity of these hands has long been lost. What remains extraordinary, however, is that Christ Church was designed to rival anything built in England during the 18th century. The congregation, governed by the Anglican Church and still English at heart, naturally turned to its motherland for architectural inspiration. Some of the church's key elements came from England, including stone from the Isle of Purbeck used to make the church floor. But remarkably, the craftsmen who built Christ Church were talented artisans who carved extraordinarily fine bricks, equal to any made in England. The stone detailing that surrounds each of the windows and the curved brickwork above the doors are a testament to this fine craftsmanship. By the end of the 17th century, the Anglican Church no longer placed a barrier between the priest and the people. The pulpit had moved to the middle of the congregation, and the church was filled with light, not cloaked in darkness. Christ Church's interior conformed to a faith in which the spoken word was paramount. The design and prominence of the triple-deck pulpit, one of only two surviving in Virginia, reflected this new emphasis on the word. Each level was used for a different purpose. A clerk read community announcements from the lower level. The service was delivered from the middle level. The minister gave his sermon from the highest deck. The architectural design of Christ Church reflects the colonial aristocracy, trained to listen and think, more at home with a rational God than a mystical one. Christ Church stands because of the wealth and generosity of Robert King Carter. The Carter legacy began in 1642 when Robert's father, John Carter, acquired land on the northern neck. Prospering as a tobacco planter and shipping merchant, John Carter oversaw construction of the first Christ Church, a wooden structure built near where the brick church stands today. While Carter did not live long enough to see the church completed, his legacy would continue through the generosity of his son Robert, who wrote in 1726, "It is my will, and I do ordain, that whenever the vestry of Christ Church Parish shall undertake to build a brick church, that there be paid out of my estate the sum of £200. While Robert Carter's values were those of other God-fearing men of his time, his wealth was unequaled. At his zenith, he owned 300,000 acres and 1,000 slaves. He raised cattle, hogs, and sheep, and operated 48 tobacco plantations in a dozen Virginia counties. A road lined with tall cedars led from the church to the Carter estate. Today, only the ruins of the estate, known as Coratoman, survive. Once asked why rich men grow richer, Carter answered, "We are but stewards of God's building. The more he lends us, the larger he expects from us, and happy they that make a right use of their master's talents." Making use of both his wealth and talents, Robert agreed to build the brick church at his own expense, provided always the chancel be preserved as a burial place for my family. But like his father, Robert Carter would not live to see the church he commissioned completed. Buried in 1732, the inscription on his tomb reads, "Provided with extensive wealth worthily acquired, he erected at his own expense this sacred building as a great monument of devoted duty towards God." Robert Carter stood between the old world and the new. Born in America in 1663, he was educated in England. While Robert's father received land from an English king, Robert's son would become a friend of the first American president.